Tonight on NewsWatch Ole Miss, the body of a missing teen has been found in West Memphis. The teen had been missing for nearly 4 days.
Plus, the Louisville Police Department faces violation from the Department of Justice following the conduct of a review that shows a pattern of unfair behavior.
We've had some rainy weather here in Oxford, but spring break is just around the corner, so hang in for just a couple of more days. Keep watching for all your weather updates. NewsWatch Ole Miss starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Alexia Ittercheck.
And I'm AC Barker. A missing teen was found yesterday morning in West Memphis. He had been missing since Sunday. 18-year-old Fredarius Wilson's body was found in Holly Springs National Forest. West Memphis police were able to ping the last location of Wilson's phone and found the approximate location eventually. The police were unable to find anything until a U.S. Forest Service employee found Wilson's body. Wilson's death is being investigated as a homicide.
The city of Memphis says it is going to release 20 hours of video footage showing the lead up to the police beating of Tyree Nichols. This comes 2 months after Nichols' death. Although the city attorney says it closed the investigation of his death, Chief Legal Officer Jennifer Sink says it will be reopened if new information is presented. So far, 13 Memphis Police Department employees have been charged with policy violations, and 5 former officers have been charged with aggravated assault, aggravated kidnapping, official misconduct, official oppression, and second-degree murder. 7 officers, including the 5 accused, have been fired and 3 have been suspended.
Mississippi is looking to revive an initiative process that would affect abortion laws. People would be banned from putting abortion laws or budget proposals on the statewide ballot. The resolution to revive the initiative process would allow proposed laws to go on the ballot rather than constitutional amendments. These abortion initiatives would be banned under the new plan. The prohibition was added by a House committee last week, and it's unclear whether that portion will survive in final negotiations.
A suspect has been identified in a case involving stolen property from a commercial building. It happened on County Road 162. Law enforcement says Robbins had pawned the stolen items in pawn shops across Mississippi. Robbins was previously being held in Leflore County, but has since been transferred back to the Lafayette County Detention Center. His bond is set at $5,000. If the dorm lifestyle isn't your style, you're in luck. For the first time, the university is offering off-campus alternatives for incoming freshmen. NewsWatch reporter Katie Simmons has more.
The freshman population at Ole Miss has been rapidly growing through the years, and with housing at almost 100% capacity this past semester, the university has started looking for other alternatives. The Quarters is a gated apartment complex just 5 minutes from the university and is slated to become a freshman housing option in the fall. With amenities such as a pool, a 24-hour gym, and a game room, the Quarters presents a new experience, but some students say that living there would mean missing out on on-campus experiences.
Honestly, I would rather live on campus just because you get to make friends here. So I'm in Burns and I'm on the 4th floor, which all pharmacy girls are up there. So I can get really close with them.
Any future freshmen that are wanting to know just what these apartments look like, I'm currently standing in a model 4-bedroom apartment that have their own private bathrooms, a full kitchen, and their own washer and dryer. Ease of transport is another issue because students will either have to ride the bus or drive their own car.
On campus, you don't necessarily need a car. I wouldn't think, because if you want to walk to the Union, it's just right there. If you want to walk to the library, it's right there. But if you're off campus, you would have to need a car to get to class. You would need a car to get groceries, come here to the Union if you want to eat.
Future students will have the opportunity to choose whether they want to live on or off campus. I'm Katie Simmons, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
If you want to learn more about these options, email office@thequarteroxford.com.
The Oxford Film Festival had another successful year, celebrating its 20th anniversary. Here are the winners. First up, we have Edward Worthy, Christina Huff, Colin Babick, Amanda Fallon Smith, Rylan Tews, and Zaire Love. Up next, we have Alex Magaro, May Weimer, and Ian Bell.
Most people know medical cannabis dispensaries have been open in Oxford for nearly 2 months now, but what they may not know is how important the people behind the counter helping patients are to the industry's success. NewsWatch reporter Laura Wynn has more.
Medical cannabis has officially taken root in Mississippi, and dispensaries like Starbuds Medical in Oxford have been selling product to patients since January. But who helps patients navigate which products to purchase? The answer, bud tenders.
You step into a dispensary for the first time, you're welcomed by a team of people who know the ins and outs of the cannabis plant.
Business was booming at Starbuds, so bud tender Cameron Chapman spoke with me next door in the CBD store about their day-to-day operations.
It's pivotal. If you do not have good bud tenders in your store that are trained appropriately, they can kill a customer service experience.
Once the bud tender has verified that the patient has a card, he or she will then check to see if the patient has an allotment left for the week before asking their main question, what are you looking to achieve with the use of medical cannabis today? Trey Ham is a frequent customer at Starbuds. He says the person behind the counter impacts his overall experience.
Yes, having a good bud tender here, it's really knowledgeable, that it changes the experience altogether.
Chapman says seeing the positive impact medical cannabis has on patients keeps him in the business.
Seeing people go from being unsure to just becoming full-fledged advocates for cannabis, that is why I come back every day.
Laurel Wynn, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Starbuds Medical is open Monday through Saturday, and its Budsters look forward to serving new patients each day.
Up ahead, survivors of the Mexico kidnapping are now back home with their families and in recovery.
Plus, NASA finds a shocking discovery that could affect us in the future. This and more after the break.
Does it ever seem like some people are actually trying to destroy the planet? And the rest of us are like, hey, we need this planet. Some people may be slow to learn, but they'll eventually get the message.
Oh man, I can't believe I'm missing this. Okay, Grandma. I see you.
Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. It keeps you, your community, and loved ones protected. Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
When you have a hole in your neck, don't face the shower head.
Suction out your dough before you eat.
Crouch. Don't bend over. You don't want to lose the food in your stomach. Don't use spray paint.
Be very careful shaving.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Legacy isn't just about where you're from, it's about where you're going. So where are you going?
I'm going to be the first in my family to graduate.
I'm going to make a difference.
Just like my granddad.
I'm going to make the bestseller list.
And I'm going to help him get there.
I'm going to win a championship.
Again! I'm going to lock the vault! Hotty toddy!
I'm going to take the next step. I'm going to bring them to their feet.
I'm going to Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Build your legacy.
Good evening and welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell was rushed to the hospital last night. Spokesperson for McConnell stated that he has experienced a terrible fall while attending a private dinner in Washington, D.C. McConnell was treated for his concussion but will remain at the hospital for the rest of the week for further observation and treatment. In recent weeks, he is the third U.S. Senator to be hospitalized. Democratic Senators Dianne Feinstein and John Fetterman were both recently receiving treatments. Feinstein for her bout of shingles and Fetterman for his clinical depression. McConnell serves as the Senate's longest-serving GOP leader at the age of 81. Associates and friends of McConnell wish him a speedy and full recovery.
The Louisville Police Department is facing violations from the Department of Justice after the conduct of a review that shows a pattern of unfair behavior. The investigation began after the killing of Breonna Taylor, a 26-year-old emergency room technician who was struck during a botched raid. The nearly two review found the police department guilty of using excessive force and unreasonable tactics, including tasers, neck restraints, and police dogs. The review also found the Louisville police conducting search warrants without knocking or announcing. The report stated that the death of Breonna Taylor was a result of the problems that went on for years at the police department.
The department has concluded that there is reasonable cause to believe that Louisville Metro and LMPD engaged in a pattern or practice of conduct that violates the First and Fourth Amendments of the Constitution. There is also reasonable cause to believe that they engage in conduct that violates Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Safe Streets Act, and the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Survivors of an armed Mexico kidnapping are now in recovery. Survivors Latavia McGee and Eric James Williams were recovered in Brownsville at the Valley Regional Medical Center. They were among the 4 Americans kidnapped while in Mexico for a medical procedure. The trip was violently ended when the unidentified gunmen fired shots into their van and loaded them into a vehicle. The 2 survivors were found with the bodies of the others who were with them in a house around the Mexican city of Matamoros. The remains of Shade Woodward and Zindell Brown will be transported to a funeral home in Brownsville, Texas. The investigation is ongoing.
These recent kidnappings in Mexico have left some students concerned about their plans for spring break. NewsWatch reporter Arjun Paul has more on what to expect when traveling abroad.
4 Americans kidnapped in Matamoros, Mexico on March 7th while they were traveling from South Carolina for cosmetic surgery. The incident leaving 2 dead and 1 critically injured.
Heard about it, it was a little bit shocking. The story got a lot of major media coverage, which I think is what makes it so different. It's been covered around the clock, and also just kind of the circumstance by which these people were kidnapped. Like, it just seemed like such an unassuming situation, so it's definitely a little bit scary and alarming.
More and more students are showing concerns over the rising crime abroad as more Americans are murdered in Mexico than any other country. But it is important to note the chances are still very slim.
I wouldn't necessarily say that it changed my feelings about traveling abroad. It definitely seemed like somewhat of a, I don't want to say an isolated incident, but like kind of an outlier. This isn't something that I think happens very often to travelers abroad.
Some have expressed concerns over crime disproportionately affecting people of color. Some theories suggest that the 4 could have been mistaken for Haitian drug smugglers.
I don't think many white people would be mistaken for being Haitian. So that's kind of something that I was like, okay, this is different. This isn't something that I've really ever had to consider before when traveling abroad. But it really made me think like, okay, so not only do I have to be like aware of who I am, but aware of like where I'm going and what people might assume about me.
The Mexican president has stated that those responsible will be found and punished. A reminder to always stay vigilant and aware of your surroundings when traveling.
General Motors are offering their employers buyouts to cut costs. The auto giant stated in January that the company would save $2 billion without any layoffs. But General Motors announced Thursday that they want eligible employees to leave voluntarily. The separation program would offer a lump sum payment to salaried workers who've been with the company for at least 5 years. The buyout is also eligible for global executives who have been with GM for at least 2 years. The buyout would cost the company $1.5 billion before taxes this year. And earlier this month, hundreds of salaried jobs were eliminated. A person familiar with the plan stated that the cuts will affect a few hundred white-collar employees globally.
Our Valentine's Day plans could be affected in 20 years. NASA is tracking an asteroid that has a small chance of hitting Earth in 2040. The asteroid, named 2023 DW, is 164 feet in diameter, the size of an Olympic swimming pool, which is much smaller than the Russia asteroid of 2013. The asteroid could cause damage if it were to strike near a heavily populated area. NASA states that the chance of it striking Earth is 1 in more than 600 on their risk scale. They ranked it as extremely unlikely with no cause for public concern. The asteroid will be monitored daily and its risk will likely decline as more information is gathered. Although it won't be as catastrophic as the dinosaurs, we could be witnessing this historic event in about 20 years. We'll be back after this break.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Two flashlights.
What's up, champ? Feel like you get taller every time I see you. Congratulations, Brandon.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Well, it's no question that Mississippi weather is just absolutely unpredictable, and it's just been nothing but doom and gloom all day today, Alexia.
It really has. This whole week has been so depressing, really.
I know. I know. And I mean, all we want is that sunshine, especially as we're heading into spring break, which I'm sure most of us won't be here anyway. We'll be heading to warmer, sunnier places.
Definitely.
But for those of us who are not heading to warmer and sunnier places, let's check in with NewsWatch weather anchor Hannah Wong with what's going to be happening here in Oxford. Hannah.
Thanks, AC. The weather here in Oxford has been just like the Katy Perry song. It's hot and then it's cold. But currently we have a temperature of 65 and we have been experiencing some rain today, which will continue throughout the evening. And we can see the same in our area. South Haven has gotten into the 50s along with Corinth, but Oxford, Holly Springs, and Tupelo have managed to stay in the lower 60s. And for tonight, we will have a low of 47 with cloudy and periods of rain. So if you're headed out tonight, or if you're even leaving tonight, make sure you have a rain jacket and an umbrella while you pack up the car to go. But tomorrow it will be a little bit warmer, and I promise there will be just a little bit of sunshine and some clouds with a high of 61 and a 7% chance of rain. But that is not the case for everywhere in Mississippi, as South Haven will get all the way down into the 40s with a high of 44 tomorrow, and Tupelo with the warmest at 63 degrees. And if you're not staying in the SIP for spring break and you're headed across the country, I've got some temperatures here for you at some very popular airports throughout the U.S. Dallas will be in the 80s, so if you're headed to Texas, it'll be a little warm. And Orlando is our warmest at 83 degrees Saturday for that high, but if you're headed up north, New York is at 45 degrees, and Chicago is at 35, so you could either be in the sun or the snow for spring break. But if you are here in Oxford, let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. Like I said, tomorrow we've got a high of 61. Saturday's the same high, but we will have some rain. Sunday, about the same, 60 with some rain. But Monday and Tuesday, we will get up into the 50s with some sunshine.
Well, that's a relief. At least you're saying in Oxford you're going to have some sunshine either way.
With all of this rain.
Yeah. Okay, where's everybody going for spring break this year?
I'm going home to Ohio, so I won't be in the sunshine.
I'm going to Destin, but it's supposed to be overcast.
Yeah,
So.
I know. I looked it up earlier, and Destin will have a little bit of rain on, I think, Sunday and Monday, but some sunshine throughout the rest of the week.
Oh, fun. I'm going home to Nashville to see my parents for a little bit, and I mean, it'll probably be similar weather there. But then I'm headed to Charleston, South Carolina, and it's going to be like perfect weather when I'm there. So I'm looking forward to getting away for a little bit and enjoying that weather. But when it comes to sports, what can we expect?
Well, AC, coming up, the men's basketball team advanced to the second round of the SEC tournament, and the softball team will open SEC play this weekend when they take on Tennessee. I'll have that and more next up in sports.
Creating a legacy takes time, takes dedication, spirit, and a greater vision. That vision starts here at the University of Mississippi. What will you be remembered by? Your character, your contributions, your friendship. Your legacy will define who we are now and who we are becoming for our state, our students, and our future. Ole Miss, build your legacy.
Bring it.
Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home. Okay. Bye, guys.
You guys need a ride? Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one?
I gotta go eat, man. Sorry, I'll see you later.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Hey, I'm Haley Hood. Well, starting off, the reps from the men's basketball team defeated the Gamecocks from South Carolina last night with a score of 67-61. They played the Tennessee Volunteers today at 2:30 for the second time this season. The last time being where the Vols defeated the Rebs by only 4 points in the SEC opener. The Rebels tried their best, but lost to the number 5 ranked team with a score of 70-55. That concludes the season for the men's basketball team. Congratulations on your season, Rebs. And all the teams from the Ole Miss track and field are getting set for the NCAA Indoor Championship this weekend in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The Rebels have 10 entries on the biggest stage of collegiate track and field. In order to attend the championship, athletes were required to finish within the top 16 individual competitions and top 12 in relay competitions. The women from the track and field team are ranked number 9 and the men at 24. ESPN Plus will be covering the two-day championship, so be sure to cheer on your Rebs this weekend. And taking things off to the field, the Ole Miss softball team will be having their SEC opening weekend as they travel to match up against the Volunteers. Fifth-year senior and shortstop Michaela Alley is keeping things hot for these Rebs as she leads the team with 23 hits and .404 batting average. The Tennessee is coming into this weekend strong by checking in at number 5 on the top ESPN softball top 25 poll. These Lady Vols had their conference play this weekend and ended with a record of 16-1, getting their straight 11th win. The first game of the SEC Weekend Series will start tomorrow at 4, and all games will be on the SEC Network. The Rebs from the baseball team will be staying in at Swayze this weekend as they host a weekend series against Purdue. This will be the first time in 50 years that Purdue will be facing a national defending championship team. Things have been pretty hot for the Rebs with the help of Jacob Gonzalez, Calvin Harris, and Ethan Groff, who have all batted .400 or better in the last 13 games. Purdue is coming to Oxford with their reigning Big Ten player and pitcher of the week, Paul Totes, who has already earned 7 home runs this season. This weekend series starts tomorrow at 7:30, and all 3 games will be available to watch on the SEC Network. And that's all we've got for sports. Be sure to tune in to Rebel Watch on Fridays at 5 for coverage on Ole Miss sports and beyond. Back to y'all.
Thanks so much, Haley. Up ahead, it's a certain someone's birthday today.
And she's a childhood favorite to many. Find out who after the break.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu. And especially this year, no one has time to get sick. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
These new sneakers are just what I need for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
These scissors really come in handy in art class. These colored pencils, too.
These new socks, they can be a real lifesaver.
I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
Anyone can be a Barbie girl today for National Barbie Day.
It happened on March 9th in 1959.
The iconic doll debuted at the American International Toy Fair in New York.
The dolls were created by Ruth Chandler.
Barbie was named after Handler's daughter, Barbara, and Barbie was the first doll with adult features.
Yes, she was. Barbie was the first doll with adult features.
Fun fact, in 1962, Barbie purchased her first dream house before women were even allowed to open their own bank accounts.
And she traveled to space in 1965, 4 years before the actual moon landing.
And that's all we've got for tonight from NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm AC Barker.
And I'm Alexi Intercheck.
With Sports Watch, I'm Haley Hood.
And with Stormwatch, I'm Hannah Wong.
Be sure to keep up with us on social media, and we will see you again Monday at 5.
Have a great night.